Happy Monday. Welcome to our podcast. This is Real Estate and Motherhood. I am Carolyn.
I am Diyandra, and we are here to talk about showing homes today.
Showing homes.
What do you got going on, Carolyn?
I have 4 buyers looking right now.
Ooh, that's busy.
4 buyers. 2 of them are not in the state of Georgia, so they're relocating to Georgia, which is a little more difficult. One I do have that has a relative here, so the relative is able to go with me. But, so yeah, I have 1 resident of Florida, 1 resident of New York, 2 here in Georgia that I am showing to buy houses right now.
Any listings?
I have 1 listing. My listing is in Savannah. I actually got an offer on my listing in Savannah today. It's only been on the market for a week, which is good. So yeah, everything's going great. I have a closing tomorrow. Shout out to Navy Federal.
Dance.
I don't like to dance.
I know. She never dances in the moment.
So yeah, I have a closing tomorrow. I'm excited about that. I was nervous about that transaction because it is a bank, and that was my first direct transaction with a bank or credit union.
Another first. You had a lot of firsts this year, so it's like another first. That's pretty cool, though.
I'm experiencing a lot of different.
I almost feel like I'm giving birth to you, too.
Oh, my word. You are so dramatic. How is she going to give birth to me? And I'm the oldest.
Real estate birth. I'm giving her a real estate birth.
I do feel like I've had a lot of firsts, though.
You have, and it's cool. It's new. I love it. I remember how that feels. I have 2 listings coming live, so I'm excited about that because listings are like
king.
It's like an easy orgasm. You don't have to do too much. You don't got to move around too much.
You're in control. You're in control.
Yeah, like you don't have to pretend.
No.
Listings are great. Basically, you list it right, stage it right, get the pictures up, put your sign in the yard, and you wait until that money rings your phone. And I love that feeling. So one's in Alpharetta, one's in Noonan, and hopefully they are listed before the baby gets here. If not, then my lovely Carolyn, who I'm giving real estate birth to, will be helping me out with that. And let's talk about Sports Mom.
So I am traveling next week for AAUs in Orlando for my daughter for volleyball. Her first year entering the AAU tournament. So we will leave next Wednesday and come back on Saturday. Sunday. It's also her first time playing 3 games for 4 days straight. So every day she'll play 3
days. It's her first time doing that.
3, right. But on Sunday, as they win, they'll play more. So it could be up to 5, I believe.
Have you had to buy anything yet to prepare for this trip for just the sports mom type thing?
No,
she needed pads for her knees. I don't know.
No, I'm not. I didn't prepare like that because I'm flying. And I know that when I go into a store, if I'm preparing for a package for everything she would need sports-wise, I kind of go overboard. So if I did that prior to, there'd be another suitcase for that. So I'll probably just do that when I get there because I'll get there a day in advance, of course. And when we get there, I will prepare her more sports-wise. But she has everything she needs. It's just the overboard stuff I haven't done yet.
Understood. Why don't you have me make her things that say her name on it?
I'm not that mom. I'm not the mom. So literally, Diyandra has been asking me for a sweatshirt or her logos or something that says volleyball mom or Chloe's mom. And I'm just not that mom.
She's also the mom not to record, which is ridiculous because her child asks her for video after every game and she doesn't have any because she's cute, drinking her coffee and not recording.
That's the kind of sports mom I am.
Yeah.
Now I record sometimes, but it seems like every time that she does something that she really wants to see or a game that of interest of a team she wants to play back and watch, I don't have it. Every time she asks, she's like, "Mom, did you record that game?" I'm like, "No."
Yeah, you really are like that. I am dealing with so much more than her with sports because my kid is in 11th grade and he plays basketball, which is like, it's our people. It's Black people. So it's different than volleyball. Just this morning, I rushed with my 1-year-old Nadia, with Javion, who's 16, made sure they ate, got their fruit cut up. Get in the car, we drive to the school, and he has his times wrong. So this pushes me back. So now I'm like on my way to take him back to the house. Then the coach messaged him and says, oh, just turn around. I'll come open the gym for you. So now I'm turning around. As I'm turning around, I realize I don't have the weave that I wanted to do my style for today for the recording. Don't have time for that. So I have this bun. It was supposed to be like this long, great ponytail, but we did a bun. And the whole time my 1-year-old's in the backseat singing Miss Rachel, eating oatmeal. When I got to Shay's, she was covered in oatmeal. Her hair, her neck, whatever. This is all before me getting here. And then I got my hair done. As soon as it was done, it started storming. So I'm running in the rain to put her in the car, and the baby, the other baby that's with me. So I was just kind of like, then I had to drive to Douglasville, which was 30 minutes different. And then from Douglasville, I came here. And I haven't ate, and I'm pregnant, and I'm thirsty. But this is real estate and motherhood.
And here, this is real estate and motherhood.
So he has something called Live Period this weekend. It's his first Live Period that he's actually being able to play. What Live Period means is that college coaches from everywhere are going to be there. And they are able now to speak to him directly as of June 15th. So this is like a really big deal. And my house is filled with basketball players, and they are all under anxiety and pressure because some of them are getting offers, some of them aren't. And
How many basketball players are in your house?
3. I have 3 basketball players in the house plus my 1-year-old. So the pressure, the feelings, him feeling down, it's a lot.
The hormones.
Of talking. Real estate is also a lot of talking. So I'm talking to my clients about what they're listing their house for, what we got to do, preparing them, and then having to deal with your child's emotions as well on top of that. And them working so hard for this moment. And the moment is 18 minutes per quarter. So.
How's he doing?
I don't know. It's this weekend.
Oh, it's this weekend coming.
This weekend and next weekend. So I'll be at Lake Point.
Lake Point is a huge sports complex here in Atlanta area.
Yeah, which I wish I owned it.
We'll
see how that goes. So we're talking about showing homes. The reason why we chose showing homes is because as a new agent, a lot of times you're dealing with buyers more than sellers. The reason why I'm getting sellers now is because I am now 6 years in the business, and the people who I've sold to as buyers are ready to sell.
Right.
So we want to talk about showing homes because it is important to know how to show homes, and everybody does it differently. I'm sure what Carolyn does when she gets to the house is a lot different than what I do when I get to the house. So I wanted to ask you, why are you looking at me like that?
I knew you were going to ask me a question.
Well, I wanted to ask you, how many houses have you shown one client so far? If you can guesstimate.
If I can guesstimate how, the highest, what,
not
if there's
sales price, but how many actual homes?
No, I'm saying which client I've showed the most homes to.
Yeah,
one single
how many
client?
homes? Yeah.
Probably around 20, maybe around 20. Okay. I have to guess that one client I showed around 20 houses before. It's not even that they don't find the house that they want. There's other things that go into it. So they may find houses they like, put in an offer for it, and based on how the client takes your input or how it's presented, you may get your offer accepted or you may not get it accepted. So it just depends on other things. So I've probably had a client in the car where I've showed them about 20 houses. What about you?
Probably 150 to 200.
Really?
Yeah. And I'm very good at writing the offer. Getting the I was trying to find a nice way to say it without sounding like a bully.
No. But you can be good at writing the offer, but if...
No, I mean like getting them to write the offer. I'm very good at persuasion.
I haven't shown, like, I guess I thought that was a lot for me.
You've only closed on 10 houses.
Okay.
You haven't gotten that extremely difficult situation yet. Now, the client that I'm talking about, I do love them. And that is how I got Malik.
Oh, okay.
So Malik is my inspector. So, well, our inspector now. I think that's why God, that's the only thing I could think of why God put me through this. Because at least I got on the other side. They were from another country. The husband was a truck driver. He was very like wanting a deal. So we'd have spurts of showing a bunch of houses, then them not seeing anything at all. I just read this post the other day while I was going through my Instagram. It took me 433 days to get them closed. Over a year. They came in as a lead.
Wow.
So they're complete strangers to me. But now they're great friends. And
was that your clients that were at your shower?
No, but I showed them a lot too. Probably like 80 to 100.
That's patience.
No, I don't think it's patience. I think I just needed the money. So I was willing to deal with their ridiculousness because I wanted the check.
Least amount of houses I've shown. Let's talk about the least amount. I have one client that knew exactly what he wanted. So I took him out twice. I think I showed him 6 houses. Eric. Mm-hmm. And every time he was very organized. He knew exactly what he wanted. So when we would go out, those houses that he wanted to see, he knew he wanted to put an offer in on all of them. He just wanted to see them. So we would go out, put an offer in on all the houses we saw that day. We went out 2 weekends and we were under contract. So that's the least.
Do you think it's ethical to do that?
What?
What you did, put offers in on multiple homes.
I mean, that's what he wanted to do. It's not unethical.
Okay, all I asked you was if you thought it was ethical. Damn. The least amount of houses I've shown is investors. They don't even go look at it. We just write the offer. And if it gets accepted, then we go to closing. So 0.
I don't have an investor as a client yet.
Yeah, me either. Well, I have one, but it's like one house at a time. I want one of those like mega investors. I said this last. Well, let's keep speaking it. So if there's an investor,
out there,
come change my life. Let me just write the offer and be at home.
I'm
and
literally.
Just get paid.
It's funny because on my Savannah house is an investor, and the realtor is like, "Oh, I go see it for him. I go ahead and write the offers," and I'm like, "Well, that must be great."
Right, because he's buying, and it's cash. Well, no, that investor is conventional, but I can't see the next thing.
So, what it takes to show a house that people don't think about. Gas, time, tires, the maintenance on your car, rearranging your schedule.
Do you know how many times I went to new construction homes and popped a tire? Because they have nails everywhere?
It's happened to me once. My tire blew once.
That is so annoying to me.
And I think it was my first client.
So you know what I do now? I park in the beginning. I walk the site. I park in the beginning where everybody else is parking, or their little trailer is, because I'm not popping another tire just to show this house that we might not even want. Yeah, car maintenance. I spend a lot on gas, especially with being a sports mom. So if we're not spending it on driving the kids to training, practicing games, then it's showing homes.
Right, because normally for training for your child, if you're looking for a great trainer, it's somewhere else. It's not someone who's in your neighborhood.
Right.
Normally,
it's never someone that's right up the street.
It's not that convenient.
Well, my trainer's in the house, so
that's another story.
It's another story for another time. Car maintenance. I have a Camry. For that reason.
Well, I didn't. I probably would have had, or I probably will purchase a different car. But yes, maintenance. My oil changes are definitely.
How much does your oil change cost? I don't know. I'm really asking.
I know, but you really get into my business,
Bro, they already knew you were broke before. This is a come up. How much is your oil change?
It's $1,200.
You're lying.
I'm not lying.
You spend $1,200 on your oil change?
Yeah.
And you have 4 buyers right now?
Yeah.
You must have a really good mentor that gave birth to you. Because my oil change cost me $75 and I was mad about that.
Girl. Well, I don't think, even when I had my Benz, like, my oil changes were still like $375.
I've never gotten
gas, oil changes.
I've never drove luxury before.
I have all my life, like literally. I think my first car was a Camry, was a Toyota Solara. That was it. After that, I've either had a Benz or a Mercedes. So I don't, gas, oil changes, maintenance, tires, that's always been something that was expensive to me. So it's like normal.
Okay. Well, I want you to know it's not normal.
Well, it's not normal now because I'm getting oil changes multiple times a year. So now I'm looking at it like, oh my God, or gas, like, oh my God, because of my job. But
so if you're a new agent, you want to think about this.
Yes.
This is why you get your client pre-approved first. Because imagine showing this client spending all this money on maintenance for weeks and then they didn't pay child support. So now that's additional debt that they didn't even think was debt because they didn't think the bank was going to know they owed child support.
And they tell you their credit score is good and, oh, I'll get pre-approved. Don't trust it. Do not get in the car with someone.
Because that's gas, that's car maintenance, that's tires. Like, no. And now they're not even approved and you wasted your time. I mean, it's a lesson in it. But if you're new, then you definitely want a pre-approval before you get in the car.
All right.
Safety and showing. Are you ever scared?
I am scared. I'm not afraid of the clients. I'm afraid of some of the neighborhoods sometimes.
Yes. I feel like, well, no. I've had, and when I was newer, because I still feel new, I've had some clients that are complete strangers because I get them through leads, and I felt like they were weird.
No, you've called me.
Yeah.
Even before I was a realtor, you called me and say, I'm showing these clients, I don't know them, I feel weird about it, so I'm sending you my location or I'm going to this place.
Yeah.
Or this address. If
I don't call you back in 5 minutes or if I'm not answering you, it's real. Because you're going into a vacant home. So no one is even looking at that home because it's probably been sitting there vacant. Mm-hmm. If you're screaming, the neighbors aren't thinking it's coming from that house.
Let's talk about squatters.
Yeah, especially with investors because those $60,000 properties normally have the squatters. A lot of people in the neighborhood know that the realtor is coming to show that house. So if I pull up, more than likely I'm coming by myself. And then my client will come. The neighbors know what's happening because that house is for sale because there's a sign in the yard.
Right.
I'm
people
4'9".
are calculated.
I'm 4'9". There's not too much I can do. So just being aware of my surroundings. If I don't feel comfortable, I'm not getting out the car till my clients come.
There is an app called Forewarn that you can look up people if you feel.
This is the KW education that she spent $18,000 to know about apps because that's really all she tells me about.
Well, there's other things I know about, not just apps, but
they really tell you about apps.
They do tell us a lot about apps. They're useful though.
Yeah. Have you used any of them?
I've used Keys Please.
You did?
Mm-hmm.
So be careful. Follow your gut. I know we all want the money. I know how exciting it is to have a client. But if it's too good to be true, then it's too good to be true.
Yes. Follow your gut.
Another reason why you want the pre-approval letter, because they are showing seriousness. They have submitted their identification to the lender. You know, if they're 1099, W-2, whatever, you can call your lender and talk to them about this particular stranger. So just depending on the situation, you want to be smart. A lot of times I will talk with my AirPod in, just one. Hey, I'm entering the house. No one knows that you're there listening. You will know if I'm okay or not. Now, if you have enough time to get to me, I don't know, but at least you know where I'm at, right? And this is serious because a lot of people think realtors make a bunch of money.
Right.
And they don't always. So they're thinking, oh, look at her in this Porsche, but she spends $1,200 to get her oil change in, and her designer shoes and her sunglasses, and she's small. I should rob her. So be careful, especially the neighbors. To me, it's always the neighbors that are
yeah,
looking.
It's definitely someone who
is
knows
in the neighborhood.
and has planned.
So you want
sitting
to be
around waiting
safe.
with nothing to do. So be safe. Showing while you're sick. I've never had to show while I was sick.
New agents be like.
I've never had to show while I was sick because Keller taught me about keys, please, and I would send someone.
Well, when you're a new agent, most people don't have somebody to give real estate birth to, and they can't afford to send someone, so they have to show up. So showing while I'm sick, I had it the worst when I was pregnant with Nadia. I was way more sicker. I don't know how to say that correctly. I was way more sick.
And before you knew you were pregnant now. Remember?
Yeah, I was tired.
No, remember we were showing Graham and Kim. And you had to leave.
Yeah.
And I was shadowing her.
Yeah, she was shadowing me, and I was like, listen, use your brain. I have to go. I have to throw up. Showing while I was sick and pregnant was the worst because houses all smell different, y'all. Oh, my God. So we'd walk in the house, I would smell the cat. We walk in the house, I smell whatever they had for dinner. I'm nauseous. And I'm just like, this kitchen is great. Can barely talk. You got all that slab in your mouth. So you do. You're like, So having to get through that was a lot for me because it actually made me hire a showing assistant. That's why I got Lakeisha.
Right.
Because I couldn't do it. And I knew my limit. I was just too nauseous and it was too gross to feel like you have to throw up in somebody else's house and you can't. Traffic.
Do we have to say, if anyone lives in the Atlanta area, do we have to dwell on this subject?
I was in traffic today for no reason. I don't even know why I was in traffic.
That's what makes me that makes me so angry when you go around and you get to the end of traffic and there's no reason why you were in traffic. That's the worst.
I put my GPS on to go to the store just to avoid traffic. Okay? Because being a real estate agent and you living in one place and then wanting to see one house that you know they're not even going to like on the opposite side of the world.
An hour away.
What do you do in traffic?
I'm normally working. So like the people I need to call back, like if I know I'm driving an hour, I put my GPS on and I have an hour to go, I will make a list of things I can do on my phone, like speaking verbally, and I'll knock those things out. I'll call those people back. I'll touch bases with people that I need to call. Like I just make it useful so that way it's a shorter distance.
I talk on the phone
feels
as well.
Shorter.
But I'm not being productive. I normally call her or our other best friend, and I'd be like, hi, I'm in traffic. So what happened last night? I read in the grocery store that when God gives you time to be by yourself and have nothing to do, that's the best time to talk to him. So if I'm going through something and I'm like, God, why am I sitting here? Instead of thinking that way, I'm thinking, oh, God, you want me sitting here. So what's up? What I need to pray about? What we got going on today, Lord? So I normally get my prayers out, my worries out, my frustrations out. My creative space is a lot of times in the car because that's when I'm still. So if I'm still in traffic, my brain is going. The only other place that happens for me is in the bath. So I get most of my creative ideas while I'm sitting in traffic.
All right. What is our word of the day? Real estate terminology.
Well, since we're doing showing homes, let's do the private remarks. Let's talk about what we see on our side about if the house is vacant or if it needs a showing request appointment. Like the difference
between public and private?
No, like if the house is just sitting there compared to when people still live in the house and we got to show it.
It may say owners work at home, so showing's not allowed between this time and this time, or be aware that the owners may be at home while you show, or...
Correct. So what we have to do in order to see the house is we have to send a showing request. Sometimes we don't have to if the house is vacant, meaning that the house is already empty. But if people still live in the house, which 85% of the people still do, because most people can't afford to buy without selling, because they can't afford 2 mortgages. So they probably still live in the house, which means we can't just pull up on them and knock on the door. Right? So we do something called a showing request, and we do that in a system called Showing Time, and they 90% of the time have a lockbox, which is a super e-key that costs $103 per box. And you put that on the door, that little blue box. That's how we get into the house. Only real estate agents, inspectors, appraisers, people in the business have access to that. The seller gets a showing request directly to their phone, and they hit Y or N to say if we can go and see it. So that's kind of how it works. So when your agent is like, well, let me see if we can get in, that's what they're doing. They're checking the private remarks, and then they are scheduling the showing.
One of the more important things about showing houses is being proactive. So especially right now, because the market is very slim in as far as houses that are listed. So especially during the summer. So let's back up. Summer is when you have most families that are trying to find homes for great school systems for their kids. So that's the average income normally. So your average income housing right now is about $450,000 in Atlanta. We've marked up our houses for some strange reason 50% over what we should be pricing them at. Everyone is after housing at the same time right now in the summer to be in their homes before August, before their kids start school. When someone sends you a house that they want, you want to make sure when I get those houses, I call right away. Right now, if a house hits the market, if it's priced right, in the right area, and everything's great about it, it is going to go under contract within maybe 4 to 5 days average right now. So if I know that and my client sends me a house, I'm definitely calling the agent right away. I'm trying to get them in the house to show it the next day. And it doesn't matter. Normally, I want to have the client see a few houses, but in this case, I will do a house by house, day by day, if something hits the market right away that I want to get in front of the agent about. You always want to call the agent first, be the first voice, make sure you're happy, chipper, excited. You're a salesperson, so you have to sell, even to the listing agent. So, yeah, I'm normally very proactive when my clients send me houses that they want to see, that I'm on top of it, and we see it, if not that day, the next day.
I agree. I move quickly. If you are messaging me at 9, I probably am trying to get in that evening, depending on when you contact me. Well, when I was showing houses. So I try to teach that to my showing assistants, that don't waste time, because if you don't do it, somebody else is. So if they really want this house and you're like, oh, I'm not available till Friday, well, guess what? The next realtor is.
The next realtor is available today.
So the second place is the first loser, because if you're not first, then you're last in my book. I'm sorry that.
And clients will move on. And if you don't have an exclusive buyer and brokerage agreement, that is another term. We probably should have made that a term. But they can go with whoever they want. Anyone can show them that house.
Even if they have that, they can go with whoever.
Right. And so if they call the listing agent, it's a happy day for them, because they'll you'll be compensated on the buy side and the sell side. So just don't drag your feet when your clients want to see a home. Long story short.
I hope that you guys learned a lot about showing houses. And I hope you tune back in with us.
Use keys, please.
Use keys, please?
Yes.
We're not promoting that. They're not paying us.
Still use it. It helps.
If you can afford it.
It is not expensive.
Bro, says the woman who's spending $1,200 on a oil change. Listen. Live within your means.
I do live within my means.
I'm just telling them.
Don't follow me.
Right. Being a new agent, hiring somebody to show. You're a new agent. But join back. We'll be here teaching, educating, giving our testimony.
Yes. I am Carolyn.
And I'm Diyandra. And we are Real Estate and Motherhood.